Oh man, I didn't change the background. Pardon me, everybody.
Oh,
A little behind the scenes trying to rush here. Where is it now? Welcome to, wait for it, Toastmaster Tuesday.
there she is.
There she is. I am Matt with Megan. How's it going,
Hello,
Megan?
hello.
Hello,
Good, good.
hello.
How are you?
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, I got to make sure I get my thumb emojicon guy ready for our Toastmaster Tuesday extravaganza. Today, the Toastmaster speech subject matter is as follows. We're going to do 3 minutes on. Oh, my cat.
Oh,
Do you hear my cat there?
special guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
special guest Trout coming in. She's not done apparently. I got to give her hold up the okay, you're getting counted down. So 3 minutes on like reinvention. So I'm going to attach this video to it's a sobriety program that I am creating, and a big part of sobriety is obviously like transforming oneself, reinventing oneself. So I want to sort of model that here, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. So Toastmaster Tuesday is a show where we do impromptu speech, 3-minute speech. Take turns doing it. And on my side of things, when you're about a minute and a half in, or actually precisely a minute and a half in, I will hold up. Oh, golly, it always disappears. What? Where did it go? There it
Yeah,
is.
hold up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a little closer to my face. That makes sense. I got to figure it out now. Okay, so at a minute and a half, halfway through, thumbs up comes up. And then when it's 30 seconds left, you get the countdown with this guy, and try and wrap it up right at 3-minute mark. So it's a good fun way to practice public speaking and just impromptu and a little bit of improv. So that is the 3-minute topic, reinvention. Oh, I gotta get my clock ready as well. Megan, would you like to go first?
Oh, yeah. You always make me go
I
first.
know. I tried to pose it as a question, as if there's a choice here.
Yeah.
I always like to
Just,
put.
yeah, count me down, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I always like to put you on the spot. That's kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, begin.
I honestly feel like you've heard my reinvention story multiple times, but I tell the same one because it's the most significant transformation that I've had in my life to date, being 33 years old. And that is when I became a mom. And so I often reflect on, who I was prior to giving birth and what parts of those person are still present because I'm not completely different, but there's a lot of parts of me that changed with becoming a mom. Most significantly, I would say my ability to shift and adapt and be flexible is like the number one thing that's changed with it be. And people comment on it all the time, which I love to hear because that means that that change can really be seen by the people that are closest to me or in my circle. So we'll back up to how I was before becoming a mom. Somebody who was very in control. I like to say, type A. Had most of my life really planned out to a T, whether it was my work day, my work year, even what I was going to be doing into the year. And once the girls came along, I really had to know that my schedule didn't always matter to them. I don't really think a lot of kids care about your schedule. So, in terms of managing them throughout the day or throughout the night, I had to learn to be flexible to meet their needs because it wasn't just about me anymore. And part of that kind of got chalked up to trusting my instincts as a mom, knowing that even if I had this schedule, like this sleep schedule, that said, oh, if they slept from this time to this time, they should be good. But then they woke up. Well, what do I do now? I could go back to trust my intuition to know that I was going to be able to respond appropriately in that moment. And now they're 2.5 years old. And so if the schedule goes out the window or they're not napping when they should be napping, or they're not maybe wanting to eat supper when I serve them supper, I can go back and trust my intuition to know that I can meet their needs in that moment. And that's honestly been like the most transformative for me because I had to find that trust in myself to know that I've developed this resilience that I can manage and I can almost survive or figure it out in those moments when I don't feel like I have it all planned and I don't feel like I have it all figured out, but I will figure it out. And so now when I wake up in the morning, I have a bit of a schedule, but I'm also really open to just seeing what the day brings and how my girls will respond in that moment, knowing that I'll figure it out. That's all I had to say. Where was I at?
5 seconds left. It's like, nice work. That was great. Yeah, I was like, because each minute you had it like sectioned off. It had like basically 3 sections, it felt like. So as soon as it was like right at 2 minutes, that's when you're like, okay, and how I was before I was a mom. And then, yeah, no, really well done. And you were within 5 seconds. And technically, had I not pressed stop, we could have included that. So where am I? Was like,
Where am I?
and then you
Where
would have
did
been
I
bang
go?
on. Yeah, you would have been bang on.
You're
Excellent
like,
work. Very good.
Megan, are
Very
you
good.
going to talk about anything else?
No, that's, I mean, it's right with the theme. I'm going to say the exact same. Well, I shouldn't say the exact same. Not, it's not verbatim, but it's, yeah, that's entire. We did it intentionally, just as the theme, right? So absolutely. And
Yeah, I'll get
it's a great
my
story.
timer ready. I don't have
Okay.
like a thumbs up or anything. I'll just be
Okay.
like,
You'll give me, oh yeah, the wave. Okay. I'll look for the
okay,
wave.
I'm going to
Beautiful.
count you down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So my story of reinvention is, I'm going to specifically focus on my first year of sobriety. So that was in 2012, March 2012 to I guess it would be March of 2013. Yes, there we go. And so I'm going to focus on that simply because that was the most challenging one for me up to that point. I had I think at that point I maybe had like a handful of days in a row ever that I, in my entire adult life, even dating back to my late teens, that I hadn't drank. And so each day was like setting a new record. And man, there was a lot of reinventing that I had to do in that first year. And it was like, I, I, the advice I would give anybody that's in that first year is like, um, it's great. It's great to experience your first Christmas, your first birthday, your first camping trip, your first golfing trip, your first fishing trip, whatever is associated with drinking, which for me was literally everything. And being able to experience it and allow myself to experience it and just practice, showing up a different way and being just open to leaving myself the space to feel what it felt like to not do it. And so initially it was a focus on what I was missing and what I didn't have anymore. And the more I stuck with it and practiced it gradually started transferring into um grateful for what I did have. So that was the huge aha moment. And then after that, you get really addicted to, you stop looking at what you don't have and you start being grateful for the things that you do have. And as soon as I did that, it's like the snowball going down the hill. That just picks up, momentum and speed and so forth as well. And I found my imagination was coming back. My creativity came back. My enjoyment of little things came back. Things that I initially took as like boring, like my first camping trip without beer was like, just sitting in the woods. This is kind of boring. And then so reinventing that and recalibrating that and going, no, this is beautiful. Like I love just being in around, listening to the trees, the birds. And so yeah, that was the trickiest but also most satisfying period of my reinvention that I have since then it's been like my model for my sobriety ever since, just remembering that first year of sobriety and working my way through reinventing myself from month to month, event to event. What's left?
Good job. Yeah, about 6 seconds left.
Oh, okay. You beat me by a second.
That's awesome. I love
Cool.
that story in terms of how like you're like experiencing these firsts in a
Yes.
way again.
Yep.
And that's like a really positive way, or maybe you can answer this, but even a positive way to reframe it for people who are going through the sobriety process and maybe have some anxiety about what those firsts are going to look like. And going back to what we talked about yesterday, like, are they seeing it as an ordeal or as an adventure?
100%. And it was and I'll speak to my experience. For me, it was, there was some feelings of, missing out and focusing on, what I no longer had. And there was some grieving. And the best thing you can do in that stage is allow that. Don't
Mhm.
avoid it or push it away or get down on yourself for it. It's like when you've gone through like a breakup, you're grieving that old side of you. In a sense, you're honoring the fact that you're, you know, and it's like, it's a tribute to, like, it's acknowledging and thanking that person that got you to that stage in your life that it no longer serves you, instead
Mhm.
of, and then that releases a lot of the shame. It releases a lot of my shame that I was like allowing myself to see myself in a different light. And then it just naturally, you can start to drift from that into this state of, okay, now this is kind of cool. And like, I distinctly remember like smiling to myself more often, or I'd be like laying in bed and I'd, have kind of this like imaginatory, visualizations that I hadn't really had as a kid. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I used to just kind of pass out, you know what I mean? And now I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I remember this. And it kind of was like, yeah, exactly. It was re-experiencing some things, but some things I had not even experienced at all. Like I hadn't played a sober note of music my entire life. I always, before I picked up my guitar, I'd have a hoot or like a beer or something. So I was at least a little bit buzzed before I played
Mhm.
anything. So like those
Mhm.
things I literally had not experienced sober.
Yeah.
So there was some stuff that I was relearning or re-experiencing. There were some things that I literally had not experienced
Mhm.
sober. So yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Like for sure. It starts as a grieving period, and that's fine. That's part of the process. Best thing you can do is allow that and just realize that that's part of the process. And that's, um, that's giving way to that old self, and essentially thanking it and acknowledging it, instead
Mhm.
of being like shameful and like, dude, get out of here, like I don't want you
I don't
around
wanna feel
anymore.
this, yeah.
Exactly. So for sure, that's a good question, good follow-up question. Thanks.
Awesome. Good job.
Thank you very much. Good job yourself. Toastmaster Tuesday, we're going to come back at you with what if Wednesday is one of our favorite ones. So we will see you guys tomorrow.